Victory!
Eika is a duelist, exclusively available on the attacking team, who torches the battlefield with scorching flames. Make sure not to get too close. She's armed with the perfect tools to bring you to ashes, an automatic shotgun capable of ripping holes through her opposition, and her firestorms to send you flying high into the sky. Eika isn't someone you can take lightly. She is the incarnation of disorientation and destruction. So grab your Athena, buy your upgrade, and get ready to watch the world burn. Her unique mechanics revolve around her passive skill, Soul Battery. Inflicting damage accumulates heat. Reaching the maximum heat will raise the effectiveness against stringified enemies and enhance your next ability. It requires 165 damage to reach maximum heat and 110 if you have upgraded Soul Battery. It's worth noting that damage dealt by secondaries and damage dealt to enemy summons and utility will also build up the heat gauge. To light the land ablaze, Eika's active skill, Purgatory, is the perfect ability. Using this skill slowly ignites a circular cage 10 meters in front of you, which buffs your shotgun damage while inside and burns defenders who dare try enter or escape. When used at full heat, the cage consumes all of your heat and burns blue, dealing greater damage to those crossing the cage's walls. Be careful though, if there's nobody inside the cage, it will rapidly dissipate. Lastly, for 6 points, Eika conjures her power to unleash her ultimate skill, Firestorm. She gains 3 charges to use during the round to throw a fireball which explodes into a flaming tornado on contact. The tornado itself forces defenders to glide and deals 6 damage every tick, up to a maximum of 60 damage per tornado. At maximum heat, the next fireball you shoot will burn blue, creating a larger tornado which now deals 14 damage every tick instead, inflicting a maximum of 140 damage with a single tornado. Eika's kit is oppressive and designed to put defenders in trouble so that she can create space for her team to move safely within. As a duelist, Eika is the horn of the team. Extremely deadly, but absolutely needs to be up in the defender's face to cause any kind of chaos. Stranded without any movement abilities to reposition herself quickly, Eika needs to rely on her teammates to block off sightlines with smokes or skills to remove any potential danger from long sightlines she can't deal with. When Eika's in the defender's hold though, that's when she can use her abilities and force 1v1s in her favor to break apart the defense. Purgatory can keep enemies trapped inside a bubble, and her firestorms can move people out of position and prevent them from shooting. Eika isn't a one-man army, unfortunately, so you will need to look to your teammates for covering fire and a stream of supportive abilities to run wild and wreak havoc in the enemy's lines. If charging head-on and relying heavily on support from your team isn't your style, Eika also makes for a good lurker, flanking behind enemy lines to get the jump on them while they're distracted with either shooting at your teammates or rotating around the map. Lurking requires good map knowledge and game sense to find out when, how, and where enemies will be during the right moments. This experience is gained slowly as you play. Memorize the maps, and get used to the flow of the game. Each style has their own benefits and downsides, so don't feel so pressured to stick to one style every round, and instead mix up your strategies. Remember that as a duelist, you have the potential to be the biggest threat to the defending team, so play wisely, read your opponents, and become the unexpected. When getting into prolonged fights, Eika is possibly the best in those 1v1s. When magazines get emptied, players tend to stringify when reloading to minimize the damage that they take, but you likely already knew that. The reason why I bring this up is because Eika has so many features that increase her effectiveness against stringified enemies. She has a shotgun which has really good spread, a built-in stringified damage bonus, an upgrade, and her first awakening, Pyro Strings. It's a cheap and easy to unlock awakening that upgrades Purgatory so that enemies stringified inside it will take 2 damage every 1/5 of a second. This is part of why Eika excels at putting defenders in difficult and vulnerable situations, through maximizing the utility of her active skill, isolating problematic targets from their team, and preventing any safe escape from a 1v1 out of their control. To put pressure on those who she traps in her flames, Eika's second awakening, Encroaching Cage, shrinks the area Purgatory takes up, closing the walls in on her target until it's the smallest possible size, causing some disorientation when opponents notice that their back has already crossed Purgatory's walls. Eika's survivability is possibly one of the best in the game as of right now. The third awakening, Flame of Life, is absolutely busted. For the cheap price of 2 yellow perks on top of pyro strings, you'll heal at a 1-to-1 ratio to the heat that is removed from her soul battery. This includes the heat that you gradually lose over time for not dealing damage, and the full bar of heat consumed when using either of your skills. That means you can fully restore your health with a single button press. No slowly regenerating health needed, no partial healing, none of that. Max heat equals max health instantly. It's important to note that while you can get a full heal, your shields will not be restored by this awakening. If you took enough damage to start picking at your health, you're still going to be missing a big chunk of the maximum damage you can take. Flame of Life will usually be used only if you need a small top up on health, but there are some situations where it can really come in handy when you need to refill your health during or after a tough shootout. Eika's 6-point ultimate, Firestorm, is a powerful, multi-use ability which can deal excessive damage and keep defenders out of important positions for a brief moment. Apart from dealing damage, these firestorms conjured by Eika and windstorm grenades have near identical effects, so you can apply your knowledge of when and where to use this ability. As an attacker, windstorms are primarily used to keep defenders from using powerful positions or to keep them from defusing the bomb for just that little bit longer. Eika's firestorms can do the same thing, but to greater effect because she can cast up to 3 with each of them threatening defenders with devastating damage. The only downside with this ultimate is that you and your teammates cannot use it to reposition, like with windstorm grenades. There are certain spots on certain maps that can be reached by using a windstorm, which are powerful for pressuring the defense, to say the least. So unfortunately, Eika can't use her ultimate to get herself or her team up to these powerful positions. And finally, the grenades you bring with you may change depending on the map you're playing on. On big, open maps, I like to bring smokes and flashbangs to stay out of sight from enemies, as I get closer to use Eika's shotgun. Closed off maps with tight corridors call for frags to clear out corners defenders might be hiding in. If the map I'm on has a tall ledge I can climb up on, I'll bring a windstorm grenade so my team can reach it, and so on. It's important to keep the defenders guessing, so work with your team to bring any suitable array of different grenades to ensure that a variety of strategies may work. Get comfortable with using the nades you choose to secure kills or areas of the map. And that's a wrap. Honestly, I was super stumped on what to do for this video. Eika's kit is surprisingly honest. Like, all her abilities do what they say with very little depth. The most interesting things I could find out about her is that you can build heat from summons like Yvette's Fae. That and the fact that you just get full heals after fights. Yeah, making a guide on a duelist was something I was not ready to take on yet. Especially with my kind of aiming. I mean, seriously, did you see the clips in this video? Regardless, thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you next time.